Hey guys, welcome back to Math with Miss L. Today also we're talking about improper fractions to mixed numbers. So we're still talking about fractions, still talking about numerators, denominators. Where do we even see improper fractions? What in the world are they? And what are mixed numbers? So go ahead and stay with me if you need a refresher. Thank you for coming back to my channel. Here we go. So oh, wait, let's go back to that very quick. This whole funny joke. So you have 7/5, and 2 says that's not the proper way to behave. And the joke is nobody said that parenting fractions would be easy. So we'll figure out what this whole proper improper situation is. I just thought that was a funny joke. And of course, we have our unit fractions up top, which if you don't know what unit fractions are, watch my other Back to Basics for Fractions video. Okay, so what exactly are improper fractions? Let's go ahead and move me, so we can see that. Improper fractions have a greater numerator than denominator. So if we're looking back over here, greater numerator means that there's going to be a bigger number in the numerator. So we have more parts going on that we're talking about. So for instance, if we have 6/4, well, our 6 is greater, our numerator is greater than our denominator. So that means, well, first off, ask yourself, how many parts are in a whole? So right here, we would have 4 parts. There's my whole. Well, here is 0/4. All the way over here is 4/4. If I were to do this, well, let's just stick with this example very quick. Well, that only takes care of 4/4. So 6/4, that could equal 4/4, but plus what else? 4/4 plus what gives me 6/4? And remember, when you're adding fractions, your denominator stays the same if they are like denominators, right? So we're trying to get to 6/4. So I'm going to go ahead and make a whole other whole with 4 pieces. And once again, here's my 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, and 8/4. The reason why I want to show you all the way to 8/4, which I know you can't really see too well, but 8/4 is the same thing as 2. Or if you think of 8/4, how many times does 4 go into 8? So this is also kind of like a division problem, which you could set up like this, essentially. So these are similar. Also, if you wrote it down like this with our slant, that's similar as well. But 4 goes into 8, or if you have 8 things, you're sharing it each in a group of 4, okay, you get 2. So you have 4 parts in a whole. 4/4 is equal to 1 whole. And if you have 8/4, that just gives you 2 wholes. So right now, coming back to this, if I'm going over and I'm saying, okay, 4/4, got it. But how many other fourths do you need to make 6? Hopefully you're screaming 2/4, but not too loud. So go ahead and shade in those 2/4, and you do get 6/4. If you need help with unit fractions, unit means a part. A part, as in 1 part. So people at my back table today, we talked a lot about unit fractions. How many times would you write 1/4 if you're trying to get to 6/4? Hopefully you're saying 6 times. So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, and 6/4. And if you're a visual person like me, if you know that there's 4 parts in 1 whole, maybe you're drawing this whole right here and saying 1 whole. We're about to get there. So hold on. I'm even getting ahead of myself. There's 1 whole, and then you have your 2/4 left over. So click save. We're about to talk about what else this means. So I just want you to see that it's true that 6/4 really is greater than a whole because you have 2/4 that are greater. So let's see what this next slide says. So our next slide says, what is a mixed number? And let's find another spot for me, shall we? Let's just make me smaller. please, all around. So what is a mixed number? Where do we see these? It says a mixed number consists of a whole number and a fraction combined. So take a look over here. Chocolate chip cookies, my favorite, by the way, along with Snickerdoodle, M&Ms, sugar cookies. I mean, there's so many, right? So 2 1/3 cup of sugar, or 1 5/8 cups of sugar or flour. But these are where we truly see mixed numbers in real life. So I want us to go to that example right there. So like it says, if it says 2 1/3 cup of sugar, well, 2 1/3. So a mixed number, here is your whole number. So right here, whole number. Your fraction is right there. So to be mixed, for a mixed number, you have to have a whole number and fraction put together. Otherwise, you're just not mixed, right? So let's see what this would look like as an example, and let's see how we go from 2 1/3 and how to really make that into an improper fraction if it asks us to. So let's look at this. So we went over what a mixed number is. I probably should have said, once again, an improper fraction if we go back, because goodness knows I want to make sure we're going back. So once again, improper fractions. You have a greater number on top than your numerator, than your denominator. It's not proper, right? Proper, you usually see like 3/4, right? You have a smaller number in your numerator and a greater number in the denominator. Let's go ahead and fast forward. Okay, back here, or I guess up front over here. So let's draw a picture and let's focus on what those fractions there look like. So these are, once again, we're going to be able to combine improper into mixed and mixed numbers into improper fractions. So the first one it says is 5/3. And we're going to do like the first two, and I'm going to have my other classes do the last two as part of their homework. So 5/3, you have to ask yourself, you need to draw a picture, how many total parts are in a whole? So that's always the first question. How many total parts are in a whole? Always, always look for your denominator, because that is the total, can't really see it, total parts in a whole. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. And I know that I start with 0/3 and I end, let's draw that a little bigger. I start with 0/3. I end with 3/3, which is the same as 1 whole. Okay, there's an equal sign there. So if you shade those in, that's 3 parts out of 1 whole. Now, like we said, improper, it's not written right. Like that doesn't look normal to us. So we have our 3 parts. What else do I need to add to that to make it 5/3? What is my missing number here? 3 plus what number would give me 5? Because remember, my denominators, if I'm adding, stay the same. So 3 plus, hopefully you're saying 2. And you just got your missing piece. So here are your other 3 parts. And you're only going to shade in 2 of those parts. So now you have a visual. Use that visual to your advantage. How many holes do you have right here? Hopefully you're saying, Miss LaFuente, that is the same thing as 1 whole. 1 whole, we're over here. And we have how many thirds going on? Well, we're still talking about thirds, and 2 of them are shaded. So this is our mixed number. So if I went too fast for you, you can always rewind, go back. But the biggest piece is knowing how many parts are in your whole and what you can add to your whole to figure out how many you have left over. That will be after your whole piece. If that makes any sense to you, let me know. Okay, our next one, which is our last example for right now, is, let's see, it says 6/4. So remember, 6/4 is the same as 6/4 like this. Okay, remember. So 6/4, ask yourself, how many total parts? 4 in a whole. So how many total parts make up a whole? So if we were going to do our circles this time, there are 4 parts in a whole. Says that we want 6 total, or 6 parts of a whole, but there are 4 in one total piece. So this right now is 4/4. So we're going to take our 4/4 out and add what missing fraction to make 6/4. So remember, when you're adding like fractions, which means they have the same denominator, you're going to keep your denominators the same and you don't add them. They're still just fourths. So 4 plus what number gives you 6? Hopefully you're saying 2. So with that, that is your missing piece over here. So you draw your other whole with 4 parts, and you can shade in whichever 2. That's still 2/4. So you're going to write 2/4 right here. So let's go ahead and make our mixed number. So our mixed number, which I'm not sure if you can see this color that well, but let's try it. So our mixed number is going to go right here, but you can kind of see it. So mixed number, 4/4 equals 1 whole. 1 whole. 2/4, hopefully we know that we can write 2/4 as such. We have our whole number and our fraction. Do you know, so challenge question, what is 2/4 equivalent to? And we will be talking more about equivalent fractions. Stay tuned for another episode or video about that. So guys, that's really all I have for you. Like I said, first, you need to make sure you draw a picture. When I said number 2, label your unit fractions. If that helps you, you can. You could say 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. That all gives you 4/4. If you don't think labeling unit fractions helps you that much, you don't have to. You can just label it as you would like to. And go from your picture to help you create your mixed number, definitely. So let's see what else is going on. So what happens if you do the opposite? Opposite. So let's look very quick. So once again, I'm going to do the first 2, and you guys are going to do the last 2. So let's see what it says. Oh no, let's go backwards. Okay, so I guess I was trying to just create some mixed numbers. So let's do that. If I have 1 3/4, 1 3/4, let's say 1 3/4 cups of sugar. And let's say that I only have my 1/4 of a cup to measure. Ask yourself always, how many total parts in a whole? So let's say I'm still talking about sugar and I'm talking about fourths. I know that my denominator tells me the total parts. There's 4 parts in a whole. So I'm going to draw my whole, and there are 4 parts. I know, if you don't remember how many parts are in a whole, look back at my last video. 0/4, 4/4 is the same thing as 1 whole. So that's where you get that visual from, right? And if you can't see that, I can write that bigger. That's equal to 1 whole. Now, 3/4, well, let's see. You already got the 1 whole. Check. That's a lovely check mark. Now just add your 3/4 to it. So you still have your 4 total pieces, And you're going to just shade in 3 of them to make 3/4. And if you like to shade in your pieces to show how much is there, go for it. But yes, that is how you go from one to another. Now remember, we're trying to still create our improper fraction. So take your 4/4, which is your 1 whole, take your 4/4 and add your 3/4, which is what made it greater than 1. Now remember, talking about adding fractions, there'll be another video in the future about this. If you have like denominators, you keep it the same because your total pieces, it's like with money. If you are talking or messing with US dollars or US coins, you can add them together. If you're talking about pesos or things like that, you might have to do some currency exchange. But these are the same. Next, 4 plus 3 is 7. So our improper fraction right here is 7/4. So my challenge to you is from this beautiful, beautiful picture, what would let's see. If I gave you 2 and 2/4. If you have 2 wholes, once again, how many total parts in a whole? If you have 4 total pieces in your denominator, you make 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1 whole. So there's your 4/4 or 1 whole. You can totally make another. There is 2 wholes right there, right? Which is another. So 4/4 plus 4/4. And then if you have 2/4, make that 4 parts again and only shade in 2 of them to make 2/4. So once you have your picture, then I probably should write bigger for sure, right? This is 4/4, which is the same as 2 wholes. Sorry, which is the same as 1 whole. And this is 4/4, which is the same as 1 whole. So let's add these together to figure out what our improper fraction is. So improper fraction is 4/4. Add that one, check, because that's 1 whole. Add another 4/4. Check, that's your other whole. And then add your 2/4 over here. And remember, when you add like denominators, it stays the same. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 2 is 10. So 10/4 is equal to 2 and 2/4. How fun is that? Math is so interesting, is it not? So guys, challenge questions for people that want to challenge themselves. Let's go ahead and write those. And for my class, these are questions that will be assigned. So listen up. Let's go ahead for number 1. Go ahead and do, let's start simple. Let's do 1 and 4/7. That's number 1. Number 2, let's go from improper. Right? So if you have mixed number, you're going to improper. If you have improper, you're going to mixed number. 3, let's do 2 and 3/8. And last but not least, number 4, let's go ahead and do 17/5. All right. Thank you guys so much. Let's go ahead and move forward. So make sure to subscribe to our channel, like our videos, please. Comment down below what you would like to see a video over. And our weekly winners for Imagine Math. Let me get those very quickly. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do about 5 or 6. Let's see. So come claim your prize tomorrow, people. Jalen, Carly, Isabella, Allison. Whoa, these are all different people. Usually there's always repeats. Got to get those Imagine Math lessons done, guys. Okay, next we have Adelie. Nice, congrats. Camille. Hopefully you're feeling better, sweetie. Shout out to Camille. Hopefully she's feeling better. Isabella again. And last but not least, we have Christian. All right, guys. So come tomorrow and claim your prize. Every Friday, if you don't claim it, it goes to someone else. Shout outs for sure to Miss Barrios, because she's been working out with me and getting stronger. Let's go this way. And of course, shout out to all of my kiddos. Love you so much. And my 5th graders, love you, love you, love you. Okay, guys, see you later. Bye.